Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, California Weather Watch. Today is February 25th, and right now we are looking at the infrared/visible satellite imagery. You can see our cutoff low out here. It is making some progress towards the coastline. You can see all the lightning associated with it. Pretty typical for a cutoff low with some chilly air aloft to be producing lightning like that. You can see kind of the subtropical jet bringing some high clouds right now. This will try to move into California. It'll bring some mountain snow with it and some light precipitation amounts, but this is nothing like the big storms that we've had previously this month. But we have some very interesting weather here and potentially some high impact weather here coming on in through this upcoming week, and we'll dive into those details as we go through the video here this morning. Risk for high sneaker waves up and down some of the coastline here in Northern California. Watch out. These waves get people every single year. They have huge logs in them that weigh hundreds of pounds, so don't turn your back on the ocean. You guys know the drill, and consider this all the way down towards the Bay Area and some of the Central Coast as well. Now, looking off into the extended, they're talking about this as we go on in towards the end of the week coming up here. Look at some of these snowfall levels here. Look at this. 1,000, 1,500 feet. Increased risk for tree branches falling due to wet, heavy snow. So we got some interesting stuff here. And I'm going to show you that in the weather models, where exactly it's coming from and what we can expect. This is the winter weather advisory, mainly above 6,000 feet here. And this is with that cutoff low moisture. It's going to be trying to move back up over the area. You can see from 12 a.m. Monday until 4 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on Tuesday here. So if you want to travel, do it today, because the roadways across the higher terrain of the Sierra Nevada are doing pretty well. And this is going to stick on some of the higher passes here. So do your travel today if you can. Now taking a look here, this is for the winter weather advisory here. And again, snow expected, total snow accumulation is 4 to 10 inches. Let me just update that, make sure it's the most recent. Looks like it is. But you can see it does include Interstate 80 over Donner Pass, Highway 50 over Echo Summit here. And again, this is from 10 p.m. tonight through 4 a.m. on Tuesday. So looking at the strong winter storm, nice graphic here from the National Weather Service, Reno, Nevada here. Look at the chance of greater than 30 inches of snow here. You're looking at some pretty high odds there. So yeah, big time stuff coming in. And I'll show you why that is here in a moment. But first, if you want a nice affordable weather station, click on that link down below to save 10% off. It's got a lightning detection system with it, and it stores a lot of data for you in the cloud. Now, quickly, let's look at that cutoff low first before we start to talk about the fun stuff. You can see it start to move towards the coastline here, and it starts to bring a little bit of light precip here across some of Southern California Central as we go through the day Monday. But again, this is not a big flood maker like we've had previously this month. And you can see it brings a little bit of light snow there. You can see that powerful frontal system driving it down across much of the Intermountain West here. Then we turn our eyes to what's going to come here across the Gulf of Alaska. But first, you can see the light precipitation amounts. I mean, you're talking about a couple tenths of an inch for some of the coastal areas, maybe higher for some of the higher terrain of Southern California. And again, a few inches of snowfall incoming here for some of the Sierra Nevada, mainly above 6,000 feet. And you can kind of see that here. Now, let's take a look at the fun stuff here, because we got the European ensemble mean as of last night. This is the cutoff low here. You can see it weaken and get picked up by the trough there. And then we just bring some absolutely frigid Arctic air off of Alaska, just a fast track here across Pacific Ocean. And we are going to slam this back into the state of California. Here's some really impressive snowfall totals have been showing up in the models, and you can really see that trajectory here, that powerful northwest flow driving that cold air back into the state. And I want to show you the winds at 500 millibars, about 18,000 feet. There's a strong frontal system for the Pacific Northwest. The cutoff low here filling, bringing some light precipitation with it, and then we really get things cranking here. This polar lobe just absolutely drives down across the Gulf of Alaska here, and look at that, just carving out across the Pacific Ocean here, driving right back into California. We have the potential for some really high impact, big amounts here across the higher terrain of California in the form of snow. And the snow levels should be fairly low here, so we're not going to be talking about flooding concerns with this too much also. This is looking at the GFS. We're looking now at 5,000 feet, 850 millibars. Got Alaska, BC, Washington, Oregon, and California here. There's the cutoff low off the coastline here. You can see it moderating, sitting, spinning. There's that powerful frontal system driving across some of the Intermountain West here. And then you can see the very cold air spilling off of Alaska here and just driving down across the Pacific Ocean here and right back into the state of California. Just, you can't draw it up much better than that. Hopefully this continues to trend in the models, and it's been showing it for a while now, so we have some pretty good model agreement. The GFS and the European are in agreement of this situation unfolding here as we go on in towards this upcoming week and towards the next week and next weekend. And now what's going on here? So substitute Washington for California. I made this graphic here a couple days ago because the Pacific Northwest is getting something similar, but you can see see Alaska, and then you drive that very cold air out over the relatively warm Pacific Ocean. The Pacific Ocean isn't that warm, but the air aloft is very cold, so you get that big difference in temperature here. The warmer, moist air rises into cold air, condenses into clouds. Air is lifted further when you slam it back into the terrain, and you can produce some absolutely ridiculous amounts of snowfall for the higher terrain. This goes for BC, Washington, Oregon, and all the way down through California in this upcoming week into next weekend. Now, looking at the European, let's see how it agrees. This is 5,000 feet. Got the Hawaiian Islands to the bottom left. There's California here. There's the cutoff low, light precipitation, powerful frontal system through the Pacific Northwest. And then you can see the cold air just stream down across the Northeast Pacific Ocean back into the state of California. Exceptional model agreement. We're really high confidence in this unfolding here as we go towards the end of the next week here. This is going to be fun to watch, and it's going to be quite dynamic looking on the satellite imagery here. So we'll be sure to show that. And looking at the GFS and the 12Z run, you can see our cutoff low come in there, some light snowfall amounts, powerful frontal system into the Pacific Northwest, and eventually this starts to translate down across some of Northern California as we go through Thursday morning, as you can see here, and this starts to blast down across Central California as we go into Friday morning. Kind of slow moving. There you have some really big snowfall potential with this as we go towards the weekend. This would be Saturday afternoon, just kind of continuing some of that precipitation. We got snowfall potential all the way down into Southern California, higher terrain as well, even some of northern Arizona, Utah, Colorado. This is a very dynamic system rolling in here, folks. And if we look off into Fantasyland, the GFS wants to continue to throw some systems California's way, as you see way off into the extended 300 hours out. We're not going to worry about that right now. Total snow in inches. Let's go way out here in the National Blended Model. So there's the initial system there with that cutoff low. And then we start to bring the storm train, the snowstorm train, back into the state of California here. And you see big snowfall amounts showing up here. Some places, going to be measuring this in feet most likely as we go through next weekend. And this is total snow 10-to-1 ratio on the European, just to show you we have pretty good model agreement coming up here. The European just wants to totally blast California as we go on through next Sunday morning here. Look at some of these amounts and all the way down. Maybe some of the coastal ranges getting a little bit of snowfall out of this as well. That very cold air mass is going to be moving right down fast track from Alaska across the Pacific right back into the state of California. And that's going to include some of the peninsular ranges probably as well. Nevada, Utah, northern Arizona, some nice amounts incoming. And you can see when that cold air arrives here. Here's Eureka, California. You could have some small hail showers. You could have a thunderstorm or two with this activity as well. And again, if you want to travel, do it today. Look at the roadways out there. This is as of this morning. It's nice out there. But by the time we get towards tomorrow morning, there's going to be some snow flying and some snow accumulating as well. This is Mono County. Actually, that was Tahoe, and this is Mono here. Let's look at the webcams for that. Look at 395. It's nice out there today, but it's not going to be so nice as we get through tomorrow. There is going to be some snow flying. And you can see Donner Summit, as the snow is falling, generally 6,000 plus with the snow levels there. And then we worry about that next system as we go over the next few days. We see Tioga Pass here, or is it Tioga? I forget. I pronounced it wrong sometimes. But you can see some of the snowfall accumulating here as we go into tomorrow, generally 6,000 feet plus. But here's the 6 to 10 day precipitation outlook. West Coast here, above average. There it is. We're still in it. California right there. 6 to 10 day West Coast, as you can imagine, with that big northwest flow coming back into the region. We're going to be below average most likely, and we're probably going to be adding to the snowpack in a significant way here as we go towards next weekend. That will be great to see. We can always use it across the higher terrain. So anyway, I'm probably going to go out and live stream today on the Pacific Northwest Weather Watch page, so join me there if you can. I'll be watching some big waves and some big wind out there. Up towards Whidbey Island in Washington State, most likely. I'm going to head out here in a bit once I wrap this video up. But we're going to really dive into the details of that system coming up as we go through the later portion of the week into next weekend, because there's really good model agreement behind it. It's been showing it for a few days now, and high confidence in it right now. But yeah, this bark is a little worse than its bite out here. You see this convection out there. That's pretty typical for these cutoff lows out over the open Pacific Ocean here. This is not any kind of sinister storm that's going to bring heavy flash flooding or anything like that back into the state of California, but it will drop some mountain snow, especially when it's combined with this trough moving down to the northwest. So watch out for that as you go on in through tomorrow morning and do your traveling today. And then we'll start to pay big time attention to that next storm system rolling in here as we go through the end of next week. But anyway, hope you guys are having a good day. Click like and subscribe. We'll do this again tomorrow, and I will talk to you guys then.